Hey there, welcome to another episode of Bob's Woodshop. Hey, I'm here with my buddy Bob Shepard. He's got this fantastic Bedrock Plane collection, and we're going to get right into it. Hey, Bob, say hi to the camera.
Hi, camera.
Hey, there you go. All right, we're going to get right into this.
All right. Yep. Let's go.
Hey, Bob, can you identify each one of these?
Yeah, sure. It's a 603, 604, 604 and a half, 605. That's the first one. 605 and a half, 606, 607, and 608. I'm missing the 602 and 605 and a quarter.
Oh. Very nice collection. So I noticed this one, when you recondition it, it looked like you put in the new Japanning. Tell me about the when you recondition this. What
Yeah,
did
you
do?
can kind of see the difference between my first plane and this one. Yeah, the Japanning helps with the rust. And this isn't actually Japanning. It's the Duplicolor Ford engine paint, semi-gloss.
Right. Okay.
And it looks very close
Yeah, I couldn't tell the
to
difference.
the original Japanning.
Yeah, and a lot easier, huh?
Oh yeah.
So when you take the Japanning off, how did you do that?
Scrape and sand, and actually I've used paint stripper a few times too.
Yeah, I have too.
Yeah. I mean, it
And then wire
sucks.
brush it.
It's
Yeah,
messy.
It's messy, yeah.
I mean, I did this one, and the 608. Those I've done redone the Japanning on those three.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably get around to doing the rest. This one's not too bad. I might leave this one alone. The 4.5 and 5, I'm definitely going to do. I'm not sure about the 606. It's missing a lot on the back end.
It's certainly nice to have nice planes, nice well kept planes. Well, it's a lovely collection.
I see you, on some of your planes you didn't do the
I
black.
painted-
You did different
Yeah, I
colors.
did red, white, and blue. I
Yeah,
did
that's pretty cool too.
a Patriot series.
There's
Yeah,
no reason to do black.
yeah, right. Just out of the tradition.
I kind of like keeping it traditional.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I go outside the lines every
What's
once in
his
a while.
name? James Wright does blue.
Yeah,
on his.
right. Yeah.
And that looks pretty sharp too.
Sure. Very cool.
See, you can see the difference on the top in the Bedrock here. This Bedrock has the 2 pins. The Baileys have the 2 screws. So to remove the frog on the
that's
Bedrock,
right,
you
yeah.
loosen these up,
Yeah, I remember this now.
and you don't have to take them all the way out. And then this just will lift right off. Sawdust in there. Now, you can see the bed here and the frog here meet solidly. That's what the Bedrock is called.
Oh, that's the
That's where they got the name from.
okay. So that's a machined
Yeah,
machine
it's
surfaces.
a much more solid mating between the two surfaces. You can see the Bailey doesn't have anywhere near that amount of steel.
Right.
And I don't know if it really makes a whole lot of difference when you're planing, unless you're really doing some difficult woods. But that's the big attraction for the Bedrocks, that they have the much more mating surface.
Okay. So
So
were the
it's supposed
Bedrocks were the Bedrocks made in England also?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
They started making them in, I think, like around 1890,
Okay.
and they stopped during World War II. Stopped production. So it was 50-some years.
Okay. So you've got a lot of experience, being that you're a lifelong carpenter. Your dad was a long-time carpenter. Your grandfather was a carpenter.
Yeah.
Right. So have you noticed, is there much of a difference and when you're actually planing between a Bailey and a Bedrock?
Not really.
Not really?
Unless you're really doing some difficult woods, and if you have the blade sharpened properly, I don't know how much, you don't really get a lot of chatter. Unless you, again, if you take a heavy shaving, you're more likely to get some chatter. See, that's locked right back down. Okay, there's the slot. Just put the iron back in. This is a Hawk iron I bought for this one.
I've noticed if you got a hawk iron, you get much better shavings.
Yeah. The other thing is with the Bedrocks, I'll show this. you can see in here, this is way back from the mouth. But you can, oops, that's why it's way back from the mouth. I didn't get in the right spot. Let's try that again. Here we go. Now it's in the right spot. If this fits down over this screw, I put it behind the screw the first time.
Right, I think that's called the yoke.
Yeah. You just have to make sure you put these holes facing back.
Oh, that's right, yeah, because the screw's coming in from
Because
the
you get
back.
this pin will go in and
Right.
catch
so
that.
they just
and
need to
lock
be
down.
they just need to be registered, right?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
It's very clever. I mean, these were the premium Stanley planes, essentially.
Right. Yeah, Bob's got a nice collection of block planes, and he's got a nice collection here
You can
Of
open
the old
that if
wood.
you like.
of the old wooden ones as well.
There were a lot of the wooden ones were my great-great-grandfathers.
Wow.
I'm 5 generations. 1 generation. The 4th, my great-grandfather wasn't a carpenter. But I've got 4 generations.
So I was telling Bob I usually have trouble when I'm planing
There we go.
to
That's
be
pretty good
either
shaping.
on one side or another. A lot of times I'm creating a bevel. And he showed me this device, which I've never seen before.
That's a pretty good shaving there.
Yeah, look at that.
Could be fine, just a little better. It's a little heavier on one side than the other.
Yeah, that helps keep you
But,
you square.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that a few more times. Let me see that.
All right, let me try and. It's like that video you showed the other night with the Japanese guy.
Yeah. I'm doing it with one hand with that 8-inch wide
Yeah.
plane.
Here we go.
Let's see that. Stretch that out. Let's show the viewers. That's what we like to see. Those gossamer shavings.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can try a little thinner. Nope, too thin. Or it's actually kind of fun. I've spent hours just making shavings. 'Cause
Oh,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
into it and
Yeah, me too.
you register. You get it on the board. Register the toe, and just as you come through, you kind of let off at the end. And kind of put the weight towards the tail.
Let's see that shaving.
It's not quite full width, but it's pretty close.
So-
This is how different planes are, they made them different over the years. So I figured these out and I just put this on here in case people ask me, I can tell what, and it's like this chart over here. And you can look all this stuff up online. It tells you basically what years they were made.
This is the history of them, yeah.
Yeah, they do it for the Stanley Bailey planes too.
Sure. Yeah, very good.
The early Bailey plane, the early Bedrock planes, basically were the same shape, had this rounded side, like the Baileys, the Bedrocks did. I forget exactly when, but they decided to make them different. So they went to the flat top.
Right.
And the flat top is more collectible because you look at this, and even if it's a Bedrock, can't distinguish it right away.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I thought all the bedrocks
No,
had the flat
The
tops.
very early ones were rounds,
Okay.
and they had the low knobs.
Right.
When they went to the flat top, they went to the high knob. They still had the same frog design as the later Bedrocks,
Okay.
but
So were any of these inherited from your dad and your
No.
granddad, or you?
the Bedrocks are all
Let's talk about the history of how you got all these.
flea market or antique shops and eBay. I probably got half of these off of eBay.
Right.
This one, the 605, my first one, that was in an antique store. I was out in Pennsylvania near the Harley Davidson factory down in Yorktown.
Right.
And we went into an antique store because I kind of like looking, and
Sure.
I saw this on a shelf. It's like, oh, that looks cool. And I liked airplanes. I got a little rust on there. And so I think this was like $45.
Wow, they didn't know what they had, huh?
No. And it's like, okay, I brought it home and I started looking into Bedrock planes.
Right.
I'm like, oh, this is interesting.
Right.
So then I got hooked. Started buying various ones. And just got into it.
Sure.
I think, like I was saying earlier, I'm missing two, but they're really expensive, $600 or $800 each.
Right.
And I don't have a lot more than that invested in all of these.
Right.
So I think this is probably this is going to be my collection of Bedrock.
You're done.
I started a new different. This is a little different. These are the Stanley Gauge planes. Mm-hmm. The Gauge tool company was in South Jersey. They're called Autoset.
Oh, I've never seen one of these.
Yeah, these are a little different because the iron has this little thing on here. So you sharpen the iron, then you can drop it right back in, and it's exactly where you had it. Mm-hmm. Got to put it on the right spot.
Do you have to take this thing off to sharpen it?
No, you can get this. You can do it right like that. So you can just sharpen it, and then this all is out of the way unless you use a honing guide. I do freehand.
Okay.
So yeah, I can do this without that. And then it drops in, it locks in, it doesn't move. Then you put the cap and tighten that on.
And that's called a gauge plane?
Yeah.
So
they didn't make these a long.
I'll say that must be a short production run.
Yeah. I have a 4, a 5, and a 6. This one I got fairly recently.
But these are very rare, right?
Yeah. But people don't know what they are, and you don't pay a lot of money. I think I paid like $40 for that one. Mm-hmm. Now, this one. I think this is my first one. The number 5s too, generally, in any of the lines they're made so many number 5s, 605s, whatever. They're usually cheaper than some of the more rare ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't remember actually ever seeing one of these things. And they plane just as well?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They work great.
Yeah, I'm sharp.
Gauge plane. Oh yeah, you get beautiful shavings off of that.
Yeah. It's not quite. I probably have a little fiddling to do. It is. Yeah, I can feel this is cutting a little heavier on this side than this side. Mm-hmm. It's a little finicky because you got to get all this stuff set perfectly.
Oh, it doesn't have the.
Because you don't have a lateral lever on here.
No lateral lever. Yeah. Okay.
Well, once you get it set, you're good to go.
You're good. Yeah. So next time you got to sharpen it.
Yeah.
This might be sacrilege, but I actually kind of like the aluminum or plastic handles because I've seen so many of the wooden handle planes that are broken, like this one.
This was my first aluminum handle. I got this with this plane. Mm-hmm. It's like I was thinking about getting a rosewood handle. It was like it came with it. I don't know if it was original, but I like all these. I got to futz with these a little bit because they're not quite set parallel.
Okay. So we're going to get into sharpening here. We're going to sharpen one of these up here. And I was noticing Bob's bench. Bob, tell me about this bench. Was this a family heirloom? No?
No, I made this bench I have the date carved underneath. I think it's 2015 or 2016. I had a basic 2x4 bench for years.
Okay.
And I finally let's make a decent bench. Mm-hmm. And this is based on a plan in American Woodworker years ago.
Right.
And the bench top and the drawers and everything, and it has the note and adjust a bench legs.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I can change the height up and down.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's a really good design. Yep.
I don't adjust the height a lot, but it is handy at times.
Yeah. Sometimes you need
a lot of planing. For me, this is bending over too much.
That's right.
So I'll raise it up if I'm doing a lot of planing. If it's a little bit, I just don't bother.
Well, the top looks like it's maple.
Yes.
Solid maple, nice and thick.
About 2.5.
I noticed when we were planing The bench wasn't moving at all.
No, this thing, between the weight, the bench, and the tools I have in here, it's got to be 500 or 600 pounds.
Right. All right. So, okay, let's get into a little sharpening.
Okay. And stones. And this is how. I got to grab my water bottle. I like
All right. So now we're gonna get into Bob's secret sharpening system.
I've tried. When I started, I used oil stones. That's what my dad had. And they're messy with the oil. And I use the King water stones, but they're soft and need forever maintenance.
So that's just water in the Windex bottle,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
So then I just, you can see this, I hollow ground. You can see a little bit of the grind in there yet.
Okay.
And then I kind of rock it back and forth till I can feel it laying flat. And
All right. So you do it by hand. You don't
Yeah.
use the honing guide.
that's how I learned. I have a honing guide, but this is so much faster. And you can feel the burr on the back already. I just that was the
What stone? What the yellow stone was? What? Chris?
Yellowstone was 1,000.
Okay.
This is 5. And I just hit it on the back, wipe that a little bit.
That's all you do.
Yeah, you don't need a lot. That's the advantage of a hollow grind. You don't have to, once you get the hollow ground, you don't have to remove a lot of steel.
You're just doing the very
Get a
edge.
sharp edge. And this is just a Stanley iron. The newer iron's a little bit thicker. Again, just follow it, find it where it's, rock it till you find it's flat, and just a couple strokes, and you get it. Nice shine on that. And then and I use, it's called the Charlesworth trick.
Yeah.
Which one's thinner? This one. You need the backside as well honed as the front,
Yeah.
but you don't have to do the whole back. You can just do the Charlesworth trick and do the very,
Yeah, the little micro bevel on the back. Yeah.
and that's good to go back. There's multiple ways to test sharpness. I do this with the lower it grabs your fingernail, or you can do the old-fashioned thing of
Yeah.
shaving,
Yep.
or you can do
Paper.
paper.
I usually do the paper.
Yeah. So that's nice and sharp.
Yeah.
Ready to put to work. The chip breaker on, I leave it back until I get it started. Then I'll slide it down to the edge. Get down here where some light is. And then there's the screwdriver. Actually, I have the other one too somewhere. I bought this recently. This is handy for
Yeah,
this.
sure. Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
it locks in and you don't slide off, and you can really get it nice and tight. Which plane was it?
Now, which plane do we work on? This
This
one?
is the 5. This is the
number
first
5.
one. And then just drop that back in and put the lever cap on.
Yeah.
I can feel this one is not parallel to the sole. So I gotta move that a little bit. Dial it in. That's pretty close, I think. Here we go.
Yeah, look at that. That's pretty thick. Let's see the shaving.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's full width, full length.
Yeah, we like that. Beautiful. Good job. Thank you.
This is how I set my table for the right angle. When I sharpen my planes and my chisels all at 30 degrees.
Right. Well, this is the hollow grinding.
Yeah, and this is hollow grinding. So once I have that set, I can just come in here. It's got a little more to do. It's just, I can just. Just about got it. And I hold my fingers up near the tip, so if my fingers start getting hot, I know it's time to take the blade off the grinding wheel, so I don't lose the tempo on it. That should be good. There's the hollow grind.
Oh, okay.
And what I know guys who do the flat, but for me, hollow grinding, because I do it freehand, it's easier to register on the sharpening
Oh, yeah,
stone.
because then you got 2 points.
Yeah, you only have 2 points. Just try to do the whole, trying to get the whole thing flat and registered.
So it's easier to feel the bevel then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite straight on that. Should probably take a little more because I'm not straight, quite straight.
Right.
Or I could just continue to have a slight camber on this.
Right.
If I hold this.
You put a little more pressure on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much all across now.
Cool. All right, let's have a little shootout between a Stanley 60, the 60 and a half, right?
16 and a half.
And the Reed Nielsen.
They both work well. If they're set up, this is probably a little sharper. It just feels a little easier to work right now.
Oh yeah, we didn't put wax on any of these.
No, these are just,
These soles.
yeah, I can see a little bit of dullness in this blade.
Right, that needs to be sharpened up.
Yeah, I mean, it's functional, but it's not ideal. But if I shut up, you can hear a little bit difference in how these are cutting. This sounds like I don't know how to describe it.
All right, let's be
Sounds
quiet.
coarser.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again with both of them.
Yeah, let's shut up for a couple passes.
Because both of them are getting full width shavings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not much. I don't hear a difference.
It's not much.
It's real subtle.
Yeah. I have. This is the latest Stanley block plane, but this thing is, you can feel this thing. This thing is really awkward. It's heavy.
Oh, it's very heavy, yeah.
I bought it out of curiosity more than anything, but it just sits up on the shelf. This is the Lee Valley, the Veritas block plane. This is not a bad little plane.
Is it ready to go?
Yeah. Get my finger out of the way, you can see.
I don't think I have any of the Veritas tools.
I have a couple.
I mean, they're right up there with Lee
Oh
Nielsen.
yeah,
Right?
they're a little different. This is the Wood River, the lever cap, the snap cap plane. Stanley made these, so you don't need a screwdriver to take it apart. You just,
Just pop it off.
yeah. Come on. This is another one that's, its machining isn't great. The adjustments are don't work all that smoothly. And I could probably get a file and play with it, but
When Rob Cosman's messing around with the 4s and the 5s, he gets those beautiful shavings off the Wood River.
I notice he sells the planes with his tuning of them too.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Beautiful shavings off of that.
Yeah, that's pretty good now.
Let's see those shavings. Yeah, no
fell
Cosmo
apart.
shavings, yeah.
I mean, this blade needs some touching up. It's not great. It's functional, but it's not great.
Cool.
If you want to open that bottom drawer, there's a Veritas
Oh, the scraper plane.
scraper plane. I've got the 10 and a half
Oh, the wide
shoulder
mouth,
plane.
yeah.
This one I've used this one quite a bit.
The old compass plane, yeah.
This is very handy at times.
Yeah, I've never had a use for that.
I did some curved work as a carpenter. This is great for that.
I always thought that was for shipbuilders. All right, let's pull this one out.
I'm not sure how well this is set up right now. Okay, let's.
So this is going to give you a big workout.
Yeah. Especially in that knot. But it works. It's better on hardwoods. Pine is a little softer using a scraper. It's called a Hamler Tools.
Okay, another scraper plane, yeah.
And it goes right into a 6 or 7, whatever the. It's a couple $100, and it's limited production. You call them up and get on the list.
Just for the blade.
Well, what's nice is it's got this gives you a nice long bed. So you're getting a nice flat surface. All these other ones are a lot shorter.
Too small,
so
yeah.
you can go up and down.
Right.
This is actually handy. I bought this and I've used it a couple of times.
Okay. That blade seems a little thin. That's why it's scraping.
Yeah.
That's why it's screeching.
I'd probably have it set a little heavy right now. So this is just. There aren't really a depth adjustment on this. If I only go one way, it's not so bad. When I pull backwards on it is when it makes more noise.
Okay. So Bob was saying the Veritas scraper plane works better on hardwood, and as we can see, he's right.
You can feel that it's
Yeah.
pretty smooth surface.
Yeah. But they have this before sandpaper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it works good.
You want to get a workout, use hand planes for everything.
Yeah, right.
Get your aerobic workout for the day.
That's right,
get your
yeah.
heart rate up.
Never saw fat carpenters back in the day. Huh? All right, so this is a custom-made
Chamfer plane.
Japanese chamfer plane.
And you set this up and you get the exact same size chamfer all the time. You just set it up. It's adjustable for width.
Sure.
And you can just, it gets, again, it's a nice smooth surface.
Yeah.
You don't have you can use a router, but you don't have to be deaf to use the plane or get deafened to use the plane.
Right. Okay, so Bob just reconditioned this old style mortising machine. He's going to tell us about it. So this is a little bit of bonus for this video. Tell us about it, Bob.
This was, my dad got it somewhere ages ago. As long as I can remember, it's been in my family. I'm not sure where it came from. But it was in his attic, in the garage attic. And when he sold the house, he's like, you either take this thing or I'm throwing it out. So I took it. And I just recently, so I've had it probably 30 years. Recently decided to restore it and getting functional. So I stripped it all, repainted it, got it working.
Was it pretty well rusted up or just dirty?
It was just dirty and there wasn't much paint on it. There wasn't a whole lot of rust. It was just grungy.
Right.
So I took it all apart, cleaned it.
You just had to wire brush it?
I used some little paint stripper on some spots.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't sure what was on there, so I just put some paint stripper on. I sharpened the chisels, got them functioning. This part down here that holds the two beams together was missing. So I just made that. I had to experiment too because I wasn't exactly sure how far apart it could be, so I had to make two of them before it worked right. So this is a foot-powered mortising machine. So what you do is just you step on the pedal and it drives in. And then you can turn around and do the other side of the mortise. And it goes in a good ½ inch or more. Of course, Bob might not drive it as far as I do because he doesn't weigh as much as I do.
And then you just clean that out with a chisel.
Yeah. You got those chips in there, but it doesn't take long.
Sure. Works
You
like a
can-
charm.
Yeah, you can go back and make it a little deeper if you like.
Works great.
I mean, this is one I did pretty much full depth. And that's about 7/8 inch deep. I think this is basically for pine or softwoods. I'm not sure I'd want to try a hardwood on this thing. That'd be a lot of work.
Right. Cool. Hey, thanks for showing me
But
that.
for pine, it works very nicely.
Sure.
If anyone wants to buy this, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or sell it, but if somebody's interested, contact me.
Yeah, let me know.
If
Yeah.
you look, let me spin this a little bit. The company is H. Van Wagoner, Newark, New Jersey.
That's when machines were machines and
Yeah.
men were men.
I think this thing weighs close to 150 pounds.
Yeah, ideally it should be bolted to the floor so
Yeah.
you're not pushing it over on yourself.
I'm not sure if the floor or the legs are a little bit out, but
Yeah, but you did a really good job with the paint job. So
these two tabs were broken off here. So I added the plate and some screws to hold everything together. You step on the pedal and this rod pulls down on this part, which drives, and then when you release it, when you step in, the oak gets pulled together.
yeah,
And when you release it, the oak wants to return to its resting place and the pedal comes back up. And this comes back up.
it's clever design. Real
Yeah.
simple. Yeah.
It's called a Gould pattern mortiser. The other big company was the Barnes company. And they had something out front here. Kind of a similar beam, but it was in front here, not behind.
And you made some hold downs, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is how they go to bolt through this hole. I'm not sure if this is how they were, but I came up with it. It works.
But they work, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks for
This
showing me.
table actually can adjust up and down a little bit with these two bolts here. It's up about as high as you get, but it can go quite a ways down.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right, thanks.